another new permanent residence pathway. Is it new though? It's not new. It is actually an enhanced version. I am talking about home support caregiver programs. This program is always something which has interested a lot of people because it has certain exemptions or it has certain provisions which allows them to even apply for their relatives, their friends who can perform those services and provide those caregiving services in Canada. So this program technically, and the way it was earlier in 2024 and before that, you had to have work experience, you had to have a job offer from a private family, and you have to be able to work in their homes. And then after you had gained at least 1 year of work experience earlier, and then it was changed to only 6 months of work experience, then you would be eligible to apply for permanent residency. It was a two-step process. First, you would come to Canada on a work permit, you would gain work experience in Canada on a work permit, and then you would be transitioning into applying for permanent residence. That was changed in June of last year. This new pilot program will provide home care workers with permanent residence on arrival. This was the big change or big news, as you would like to call it, because earlier, as I said, the requirement was that the person would have to first come to Canada, they would have to get to work first, gain work experience in Canada, and then would be eligible for permanent residence. However, this new pilot change said that the workers would be arriving in Canada and be becoming permanent residents on arrival itself. And another big change was that they will also be allowed to work for organizations that provide temporary or part-time care for people who are semi-independent or recovering from injury or illness. As I said, the earlier programs from 2024 were where you had to find job offer in a private home. It couldn't have been an institution setting because the institution setting would need an LMIE. So this was a change that was made, that in this pilot program, not only could you get a job offer, not only could you work in a private home, but you could also work in an organization setting. Big change on this one as well. What are the requirements for this program? Because this is a very popular one, as I said, because this gives the provision that it could also be your family member, could be your sibling, could be your relative, could be your uncle, could be your aunt, or anybody else. Actually, it is sold as a program in India and in Pakistan and elsewhere as easy way to bring your siblings to Canada. No, that's not the way to do it. This is not an easy way to bring your relatives to Canada. Please do not look at this program like this. That's the abuse of the system. However, if there is anybody out there who has the relevant work experience, that is what is required over here, has the recent and relevant work experience, and you, of course, being the sponsor family in Canada, permanent residents or citizens, you have a genuine need for this employment. So let's say you have young children, let's say you have any elderly or a person who is sick in your home, disability or whatever that might be, who needs care. And therefore, you have this person outside Canada who is able to provide that care, who has the experience, who has the qualification, and who has the recent and relevant work experience, only holds a equivalent of a Canadian high school diploma only. The level of proficiency in English is only level 4. My God, I mean, how easy do they have to make it for you guys? And of course, they receive an offer of a full-time home care job. So this is a requirement. Just because they can come to Canada and work for an institution doesn't mean that the job offer has to be from the institution. It still has to be from a home care. So it has to be from a private sponsor. It has to be from a private family. So if you are a permanent resident, if you are a citizen in Canada who needs child care services because you have young children, or you need home care services for an elderly or a person who is sick or injured, then this enhanced home care program might be a solution for you. Now, mind you, in the new immigration levels plan, there is a provision for this particular stream. In 2025, they have allotted 10,920 under the federal economic pilots, including the caregivers, agri-food community, and economic mobility pathways. So now we do not know exactly what is the allocation. Previous year, it was about 5,700. I'm going to go with a fair estimate that is also the number for this year, because we haven't seen much change on this number from the previous year. So the number has remained the same. So I'm going to go that it's approximately the same, about 5,000. These will be the number of people who will be eligible to apply. And this stream, as we understand, is going to open on 31st of March, 2025. That is how soon this stream opens. Now, this is what you really need to know. Now, if you are interested, this is what you'll be looking to do. You need to find an employer who's in Canada, who's a private home, right? They should have sufficient household income. So just having young children or just having an elderly at home is not the only requirement. You are now bringing a foreign worker, even if though that's your family, it doesn't matter, but you are bringing a foreign worker into your home, and you should be able to financially be able to pay for their wages, or fair wages for that matter. So your income, household income between you and your spouse or your partner, should be enough to be able to meet your LICO, low income cutoff, as well as pay for the wages of the person who you're trying to bring in. That is the very big requirement as a sponsor. Secondly, as a sponsor, you should not have any criminal background in terms of not having any charges, any sexual assault, any physical assault. Those will pretty much bar you from being able to sponsor somebody for your home care duties. But as an applicant, if you are an interested applicant and you are looking forward to this, well, in India, there are nanny programs which are being run, which are primarily targeting this kind of a stream. But if you have any work experience, even if it is managing your own young children, has been considered as relevant work experience. You just have to be able to prove it as to how that was contributing or how that can be taken as work experience. Usually, work experience is work that is calculated where you are being paid. So if you have work experience in a daycare, if you have work experience in a kindergarten, if you have a work experience as a personal support worker, as an assistant nurse, orderlies, all these occupations will become eligible for you to be able to apply under these streams that are going to be opening. So if you have done any kind of background in terms of qualifications, in terms of education, those would also be helping you support your application to show that you're qualified, experienced, and you can perform this job. More importantly, CLB level of only 4, I mean, that is ridiculously low, but that's the only requirement. CLB level 4, education of high school diploma, which basically means you need to have a WES or ECA report for your grade 12 back home to be equivalent to a Canadian diploma, and that is what will make you eligible. That's all you basically need to become eligible in this particular stream. If you are doing some programs, if you already have the qualification, that will also help. As I said, doing CPR or doing some first aid training, that will only complement your situation in this particular stream. Obviously, this would be like a hunger game. Like the day this stream opens, this will get snapped up like this. So if you are one of those individuals who's interested to apply in the stream, make sure you've already lined up your employer. And if you're a person who's an employer, then make sure you have lined up your candidate so that you guys are ready to submit the application when the gong is hitting here and when the green lights are on, and basically you will be able to then submit the application. And I'm absolutely sure that the minute this stream opens, this is going to close down as well because of the number of interested applicants. I wish all of you the very best, but please bear in mind, this is one of the most abused stream as well. Please don't be that person who abuses the stream. Only please bring an individual who really is qualified, who really needs this job, and you have a genuine requirement for that person. Wish everybody all the best, and I hope you make good use of this stream.